Lot's wife, while looking back, turned to salt. In one of the Bible's most haunting moments, a woman looks over her shoulder and instantly becomes a pillar of salt. It's a short verse, packed with meaning. Today we're not doing a sermon, we're doing instruction. What this story communicates about change, trauma, and the cost of looking back. Before we go further, I want to frame this carefully, because the Bible is not anti-memory. Scripture is saturated with the command to remember. Remember deliverance. Remember covenant. Remember who you are and whose you are. Israel marks the journey with memorials, tells the story at Passover, repeats the words in Deuteronomy. Remember, remember, remember. Even Jesus centers a practice on it. Do this in remembrance of me. So this story is not saying never remember. Memory is part of grounding. It's how God keeps people tethered to truth when life gets unstable. The question in Lot's wife isn't whether remembering matters, it's whether remembering turns into returning. Trauma can make the past feel louder than the present. Familiar pain can feel safer than unfamiliar freedom. So we're going to approach Lot's wife with empathy and with instruction. How to remember in a way that anchors you without letting the past pull you back into the fire. So when Genesis gives us this scene, it's not contradicting Scripture's call to remember. It's showing the danger of looking back in a way that keeps you tied to what God is bringing you out of. Genesis tells us God is destroying Sodom and Gomorrah for extreme injustice. Lot, his wife, and their daughters are urged to escape fast and do not look back. But Lot's wife turns and she becomes salt. This story isn't just about punishment. It's also symbolic. It asks a hard question. What happens when your body is leaving, but your soul is still attached? Her glance is often read as longing, attachment to the life she knew, even if that life was harmful. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Trauma trains us to prefer what's familiar, not what's healthy. Familiar means predictable. Predictable feels safer, especially when your nervous system has lived in survival mode. When liberation calls, hesitation can keep you standing in the doorway. Don't let yesterday decide whether you live tomorrow. And let me say this gently. Leaving isn't only a physical act. It's also the slow decision to stop letting the past vote on your future. In the ancient world, salt preserved what would decay. So her transformation becomes a preserved moment, a warning you can't ignore. It's like the text freezes the lesson in place. If you pause at the threshold long enough, you don't just remember the past. You become stuck inside it. Stuck between what hurt and what could heal. This is where the Bible's theme of remembering gets sharper. Remembering is meant to anchor you to truth, not trap you in what God is delivering you from. Salt isn't only preservation. In the biblical imagination, salt is also tied to barrenness, land that won't produce life. So symbolically, she becomes part of the wasteland behind her. Here's the instruction. What you refuse to release can start shaping what you're able to grow. When memory turns into returning in your mind, returning in your spirit, your future can start to feel infertile. Clinging to destruction turns you into destruction. Now let's name the trauma association clearly. When you survive chaos, your body learns patterns: scanning, bracing, checking behind you. That's not weakness, that's survival training. So don't look back. Isn't only a spiritual instruction, it's also a nervous system challenge. Can you tolerate uncertainty long enough to keep walking? Because trauma can make the past feel louder than the present. And the familiar, even the familiar pain, can feel safer than the unknown. Healing requires tolerating uncertainty. And this is where remembering becomes holy when it's done right. You remember deliverance not to go back, but to prove to your body that forward is possible. Some ancient interpretations say humans shouldn't witness divine judgment, that looking back crosses a boundary. Whether you take that literally or symbolically, it still teaches something wise. Not every moment is safe to revisit. Remembering can be grounding. Returning can be reopening what God is trying to heal. Not every transformation is ours to watch. Lot's wife isn't even named in the text, and that silence invites empathy. She didn't just leave a city, she left a life, routines, relationships, identity, history. So here's the instruction I take. Change demands more than survival. It demands direction. And healing demands a particular kind of remembering. Remembering that anchors you without returning you. When the world is burning behind you, trust the path that leads away from the fire. If you want more biblical stories explained through symbolism, history, and the psychology of change, subscribe. More coming.